Hi there students! Welcome back to another video lesson. So, after nating i-discuss yung kung paano mag-simplify ng expressions with rational exponents, so next naman nating i-discuss yung laws of radicals. So, if you still remember, napag-aralan nyo yung laws of exponents. So, yung mga laws of radicals, dinerive lang po sila dun sa laws of exponents. So, for this video lesson, we will be tackling about laws of radicals with simplifying radical expressions. So habang dinidiscuss yung laws of radicals, of course, merong examples para makikita nyo din kung paano sinisimplify yung mga radical expressions. So let's start. So for our lesson objectives, we will define terms on radicals. And then, illustrate laws of radicals. And then finally, we will simplify radical expressions using laws of radicals. So there are important terms on radicals so that you need to understand and you need to learn. So one of this term is square root. So madalas nating napapakinggan yung square root na yan. So what is a square root? So square root, this is the exact opposite of squaring a number. A square root of a number has two roots, positive and negative. So, ito po yung kabaligtaran nung pag-square natin ng number. So, like for example, 5 squared, that is 5 times 5, di ba? 25. So, kapag kinuha natin yung square root ng 25, babalik tayo dun sa sagot na 5, yung base na 5. So, principal square root. This is the positive square root of a number. For example, 5 is the principal square root of 25. So, sabi nga kanina, dalawa ang roots ng square root. So, positive and negative. So, kapag principal square root ang hinahanap natin, positive lang po na square root ng number ang sagot. So, square root of 25 is 5. So, yun yung principal root ng principal square root. And then, yung another root naman is the negative square root. Okay, so negative square root naman, the negative square root of 25 is shown as negative square root of 25 is negative 5. So, hindi po kasi natin pwedeng kunin ang square root ng negative na number. Okay, like for example, square root of negative 25. Hindi po kasi natin pwedeng sabihin na ang square root of negative 25 ay equal sa 5. O kaya naman, negative 5. It's because kapag in-square natin ng 5, ang sagot ay 25, hindi naman negative 25. Same with negative 5 squared, negative 5 times negative 5, that is 25. So, hindi po pwedeng kunin yung square root ng mga negative numbers. So, yung negative square root po na yan, yung negative sign po ay nasa labas ng square root sign. So, another, radical. So, the symbol square root of x, which is read as the square root of x, is a radical. So, kapag radical ang pinag-uusapan natin, makikita nyo yung symbol na yan, yung parang check. So, magkaiba po yung division sign sa square root sign. So, a radical sign. So, radicand, the term inside a radical sign is radicand. So, yung number, yung term, yung expression na nasa loob ng radical sign is what we call radicand. Like, for example, square root of 25. So, 25 is the radicand. And then, yung symbol na yan, nakikita nyo, ang tawag po dyan is radical sign. So, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na square root sign lang yan. So, meron po kasing mga ibang roots pa. So, since yan, square root of 25 yan, square root sign din naman yan. Next, we also have radical expression. So, kapag radical expression, of course, makikita natin dyan yung constant, variables, o kaya naman yung product of constants and variable. So, radical expression, this is an expression containing a radical sign, of course. Kaya nga sa radical expression, meron siyang radical symbol. In nth root of x, n is an index. Defines the root to be taken. So, yung n na yan, na nakasulat sa itaas ng radical sign ang tinatawag nating index. Siya ang nag-i-indicate kung anong root ang ating kinukuha. So, since square root of 25, so square root, we don't need to write 2. So, understood na yon. Pag wala pong number na yan, square po yun, which is 2. Pero, pag nilagyan po siya like, for example, cube root of 5. Ayan, kitang-kita natin na ang index natin ay 3. Ibig sabihin, kinukuha natin yung cube root, yung third root ng given number 5. And then yung 5 na yon, yun na magsisilbing radicand. So, if you still remember, yung cube root of 5, o yung mga radical expressions na yan is sinulat natin in rational exponents. So, yung cube root of 5 na yan, pwede siyang isulat as 5 raised to 1/3. So, yung exponent ng radicand is 1, and then 3, yung exponent, ay yung root, yung index ng ating given expression. Next, so yung main focus ng ating discussion, laws of radicals. So the laws of radicals were directly derived from the laws of exponents. It is important to study these laws in order to simplify radical expressions easily. So maganda na alam natin yung mga laws of radicals, of course, para maging madali ang pag-simplify natin ng mga radical expressions. So hindi kasi natin pwedeng i-simplify mga radical expressions kung anong paraan natin sila gustong i-simplify. So, kailangan meron po silang laws, mga rule na sinusundan. Anyway, yung mga rules na to, yung mga laws na yon, mapapadali naman yung ating sagot, pag-simplify ng mga expressions. So, yung law of radical number 1, so yung number 1 natin, change the radicand to its exponential form similar to the index. Then, answer will be the base of the radicand. Okay. So, ang ibig sabihin lang po niyan, yung radicand natin, i-change natin in exponential form na kung saan yung exponent ng radicand na yon ay kapareho ng index ng radical. Okay. Like for example, halimbawa ito, a raised to n. So, halimbawa yung index nito is 3. And then, kung gusto natin siyang i-simplify, dapat yung radicand natin, express din natin in exponential form wherein yung n, yung exponent na n na yan ng radicand, equal din dapat siya sa 3 para mabilis natin siyang ma-simplify. So, kasi kapag pareho yung index tsaka yung exponent ng radicand, ang sagot lang po doon is yung mismong radicand. So, like for example, ayan, nth root of a raised to n is equal to, ayan. So, exponential form niya is a raised to n raised to 1 over n. So, kasi yung exponent ng a raised to n, yung radicand, is 1. And then, over the index, n. And then, kapag minultiply natin yon, so ito, n times 1, that is n, di ba? Over n. So, n over n, that is a raised to 1. And di naman natin kailangan indicate yung exponent na 1, so our answer will be a. So, yung a natin dyan is yung radicand mismo. So, let's have examples for you to understand the concept. So, yung una natin, square root of 64. So, yung index natin dito is 2, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, itong 64 na to, kailangan natin siyang i-change in exponential form na kung saan yung exponent niya kamukha nung index. And that is 8 squared, di ba? And then, i-raise natin siya sa exponent ng radicand, which is 1, over dun sa index, which is 2. And then, magiging ganito siya. 8 squared times 1/2. Makakancel yung 2, tsaka 2, matitira na lang po is 8 raised to 1. So, simplifying 8 raised to 1, that is 8. Therefore, square root of 64 is 8. Ayun po. Yung mismong radicand ang sagot, 8. Next, cube root of 125. So, yung 125, i-change natin in an exponential form na kung saan yung exponent din niya kamukha nung index na 3. Okay, so magiging ganito siya. 5 cube. So, kasi yung 125 in exponential form, that is 5 cube raised to 1/3. And then, pag minultiply natin yon, 5 raised to 3 times 1/3. Again, pwede nating i-cancel yung 3. Matitira na lang 1. 5 raised to 1. And that is equal to 5. So, the cube root of 125 is 5. Ayan po siya. Next, cube root of 243. Okay. So, ito naman, express natin yung radicand na 243 sa exponential form niya na kung saan kailangan yung exponent niya ay equal dun sa index, which is 5. So, pwede natin express yung 243 in exponential form as 3 raised to the 5th power raised to 1/5. And then, i-multiply lang natin 3 raised to the 5th power times 1/5. Cancel natin yung 5. Matitira is 3 raised to 1. And then, that is equal to 3. Therefore, the 5th root of 243 is 3. So, kung hindi po kayo naniniwala na ganyan ang sagot, pwede nyo namang i-multiply. So, like for example, number 1, pwede namang i-square natin yung 8 sa number 2. Multiply nyo yung 5 tatlong beses. And then, yung last example natin, erase nyo yung 3 or multiply nyo yung 3 5 beses. So, let's have the next law of radicals. When expressions have the same exponents, multiply the base and copy the exponents. Simplify if possible. So, ito po siya. So, nth root of A is equal to nth root of B. Okay, is equal to, so yung exponential form ng nth root of A is A raised to 1 over N. And then, yung nth root of B naman, B raised to 1 over N. So, kapag yung expression natin, meron silang same exponents, so pareho po yung index. Ayan. I-multiply lang natin yung mga base, A and B, and then, kokopyahin lang natin yung exponents. And then, kung pwede pang i-simplify, i-simplify. So, let's have examples para mas maintindihan nyo. So, you can see, yung mga examples natin, yung mga index ng bawat expression, pare-pareho. Like, for example, number 1, square root of 3 times square root of 27, pareho silang square root. So, yung index sila is 2. So, i-multiply lang natin yung 3 sa 27. So, yung mga base natin dyan, 3 and 27. So, that is square root of 81. And the square root of 81 is 9. Next, square root of 8 times square root of 20. So, get the product of 8 and 20, that is 160. And then, since 160 is not a perfect square, so we'll find a factor of 160 which is a perfect square. So, yung factor ng 160 na perfect square is 16. And then, pwede natin siya express as 16 times 10. So, where did we get 10? 160 divided by 16, that is 10. Wherein 16 is a perfect square, 10 is not. And then, final answer natin, square root lang natin, extract natin square root ng 16, which is 4, and then square root of 10. Sir, bakit po yung 10 nasa loob? Because 10 is not a perfect square. Hindi po natin siya pwedeng extract. So, mananatili siya sa loob, mag-a-act siya as radicand. So, our final answer is 4 square root of 10. Next, number 3. Cube root of 12 times cube root of 18. So, since pareho silang cube root, mumultiply lang natin yung mga base. Cube root of the product of 12 and 18 is 216. 216 is a perfect cube. So, our answer here is 6. or pwede natin express yung cube root of 216 as quantity of 6 cube raised to 1/3. And then, upon multiplying, makakancel yung 3, matitira na lang 1. So, 6 raised to the first power, our answer will be 6 pa rin naman. Next, fourth root of 343 times fourth root of 14. So, multiplying 343 and 14 will give us a product of 4,802. 4,802 is not a perfect fourth root. However, meron siyang factor na perfect fourth root, which is 2,401. So, express natin yung product ng 4,802 na may perfect fourth root. That is fourth root of 2,401 times 2. So, yung 2,401 po, perfect fourth root siya. So, ang sagot po doon is 7. Ilalabas natin, and then, fourth root of 2. So, yung 2 po kasi hindi naman siya perfect fourth root. So, our final answer will be 7 fourth root of 2. So, yung next law natin, so, anong pinagkaiba ng law na ito sa previous law natin? So, kasi yung kanina, minumultiply natin yon. Yung operation kanina is multiplication. So, dito naman, kapag makikita natin na parang fraction, so, i-divide lang natin yung base and then copy the exponents. And then, at the same time, simplify natin if possible. So, ayan, papakita ko sa inyo kung paano sila nagkaiba. So, kanina kasi, pinumultiply. Ngayon po, dinidivide. So, since pareho yung index, ayan, i-divide lang natin yung base ng numerator and then dun sa base ng denominator. So, and then, ayan, nakikita nyo, nth root of a, in-express siya, a raised to 1 over n, and then nth root of b raised to 1 over n. And then, so since pareho nga yung mga index nila, pwede nating i-simplify as, ayan, the quantity of a over b raised to 1 over n. So, pwede lang po natin yang gawin kapag same exponents. Okay, so pag same index. And then, pwede natin i-simplify yun as in radical form, ayan, nth root of a over b. So, let's have examples para mas maintindihan nyo. So, let's have number 1, square root of 10 over square root of 2. So, pwede natin siyang isulat as 10 raised to 1 half over 2 raised to 1 half. As you can see, pareho yung exponents ng bawat expressions. So, pwede natin siyang isulat as the quantity of 10 over 2 raised to 1 half. Can we simplify 10 and 2? 10 over 2? Of course, 10 divided by 2 is 5 raised to 1 half. So, pag radical form ang ating sagot, hindi po itong 5 raised to 1 half ang sagot. Ang sagot po is square root of 5. Next, cube root of 28 all over cube root of 4. Pwede siyang isulat as 28 raised to 1/3 over 4 raised to 1/3. So, since pareho yung exponents, pwede nating sulat as the quantity of 28 over 4 raised to 1/3. And then, dividing 28 by 4, that is 7 raised to 1/3. And then, pwede nating i-simplify siya in radical form, cube root of 7. So, this will be our final answer. Next, fourth root of 96 all over fourth root of 6 can be written as 96 raised to 1/4 over 6 raised to 1/4. Next, since pareho nga yung exponents, pwedeng isulat as 96 over 6 raised to 1/4. 96 divided by 6, that is 16 raised to 1/4. And then, sulat natin siya as 4th root of 16. So, 4th root of 16, pwede po siyang i-simplify. It's because 16 is a perfect 4th root. So, our answer here is 4th root of 2 raised to the 4th power. So, our answer will be 2. So, let's have the next law. Multiply the index of the radicand, usually expressed in radical form, and the index of the radical expression. So, ito siya. So, meron po kasi tayong index na na-express sa radical form, which is, ayan, nth root of a. And then, meron ding index yung radical expression. So, kapag ganyan, ang gagawin lang po, i-multiply natin yung index ng radicand na naka-express in radical form doon sa index ng mismong radical expression. And that is equal to mn square root of a. So, mn, magkatabi po sila. The operation is multiplication. So, let's have examples. So, cube root of square root of 7. Okay, so let's have number 1. So, ang index ng radicand natin, square root of 7 is 2. So, magiging ganito siya. 3 times 2. 7. Okay. So, i-multiply lang natin yung 3 tsaka 2. And that is 6. So, our final answer will be 6 root of 7. Next, square root of cube root of 128. So, square root, i-multiply natin sa cube root. So, 2 times 3. And then, 128. So, that is 6th root of 128. And then, we can simplify 128. It's because meron po siyang factor na perfect 6th root. So, kailangan maging aware po tayo since our topic has something to do with simplification. So, kailangan memorize natin yung mga perfect square, yung mga perfect cube, perfect 4th root, hindi naman lahat. So, yung mga maliliit lang na value or values. So, express natin siya as 6 root of 64 times 2. So, 64 is a perfect 6th root. So, yung 6th root ng 64 is 2. So, ilalabas natin siya. And then, matitira sa loob is yung 2. So, our final answer will be 2, 6 root of 2. So, after nating i-discuss yung laws of radicals, and then, yung process ng pag-simplify using laws of radicals nga, so, i-apply natin yung mga natutunan natin dyan on the next topic, which is the operations on radical expressions. So, yung next na video lesson natin, magkasama sila, addition and subtraction of radical expressions. So, dahil ang addition, opposite siya ng subtraction, pagkasamahin natin sila. And then, after nun, multiplication and division. So, I hope naging clear yung laws of radicals and simplifying radical expressions. So, yun lang. Maraming salamat.